Okay, today I want to talk a little bit about the main tool that a geographer uses, which is a map. All right, if you're studying geography, you can't get away from uh, studying maps. All right, geographers use map as one of the main tools, both for gathering information as well as for conveying information. So a lot of geographers will do some amount of cartography, meaning that they create maps as well as read maps. All right. So what I want to use this video to do is to just to talk a little bit about some of the main features of a map. All right, so a map is really a tool in 2D form, two-dimensional form, or we could say that it is drawn on a flat surface. It is symbolic, meaning symbols are used to represent real features. And maps contain certain important elements that help us to be able to better read and understand the maps. So, geography has 5 main themes, and the foundational theme of geography is location. So the map, one of the main functions of the map is to help us to understand the locations of features, especially the locations of features in relation to other features. So some of the tools that are a part of the map will help us to find the location of features. Now, two elements that are present on this particular map are one, the north arrow, and the north arrow helps us to find the direction of one feature in relation to the other. We can give direction in terms of the points of the compass, including north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast, north, northeast, etc. But we can also express the direction in terms of angular bearing. The north arrow is important because when we give direction, we are giving the direction in relation to the north. We always use north as the starting point. Another important element on a map that helps us to find the location of features is the scale. The scale of the map helps us to give the distance of the map or the distance of the features in reality. So if we look at this scale, this is just one of the 3 main types of scale. This is a ratio scale. There is also what is called a statement scale. For example, you could have 1 centimeter to 5 kilometer. That would also be a type of scale, but this is a statement scale. We also have linear scale, where we have a line with some numbers, and again, these scales will help us to find the ground distance. All scales compare the map distance to the ground distance. So in terms of the ratio scale, the 1 is representing the map scale, the 10,000 is representing the ground distance. And as long as we have this scale, as long as we have this comparison, we know what measurement on the ground corresponds to a certain measurement on the map. Then we can take any distance on the map and we can find the actual distance. So the scale is very, very important. And we can do that for any of the scales. In terms of the statement scale, the 1 centimeter is the map distance, the 5 kilometer is the ground distance. In terms of the linear scale, this actual space between this 0 and this 1 gives us the map distance. And this actual reading, 1 kilometer, we know that this space right here couldn't be 1 kilometer. So the 1 kilometer would be the ground distance. So as long as we have those two, map distance and ground distance, being depicted, we can find any distance in reality. All right. So the scale of a map is also very important in helping us to find the location of features. Again, we are finding the location of features in relation to other features. In this case, we are finding the distance. Now, another feature on our map that helps us to find location, it's not present on this map, but on other topographic maps, we will find some lines. We will find some lines running across the map and running along the map, forming a grid. All right. So let me give you an example of what I am talking about. So for example, we could have these lines. These lines are running vertically, but their values increase towards the east. And because their values increase towards the east, we call them easting lines. All right. So for example, we could have 10 right here, which would make this 0, 9. And then we have 11 right here. And then we have 12 right there. So the values are increasing towards the east. And then we would have some other lines running horizontally across the map, and their values will be increasing towards the north. As a result of that, we will call these lines northing. So for example, let's say we have this line is 23, this line is 24, this line is 25, this line is 26. Notice that the lines are increasing towards the north. So when we want to give the location of a feature, we can either give the 4-figure grid reference or the 6-figure grid reference. So let's say we are trying to locate this feature in this box. Notice to the left of this feature. This feature is a depression. We will talk more about that later on. This feature to the left of it, the line, the value of the line is 1, 1, and to the bottom of it, the value of the line is 2, 6. So when we are giving the location of this feature, it would be 1, 1, 2, 6. All right. So that would be the location. This would be the 4-figure grid reference of this feature. So the easting lines and the northing lines allow us to give exact or absolute location. All right. And so our eastings and our northings are also very important to help us read our map. Now, all of the locations that we've just given are horizontal location. They are locations along the horizontal or a two-dimensional space. But the land also rises. On this uh, diagram over here, I try to draw it to represent a three-dimensional space. Notice that the land is rising. Notice that the land is rising. How can we show that the land is rising on a map? Well, what we do is we use some lines called contour lines. Contour lines are lines drawn on a map connecting all places of the same height above sea level. The contour lines are equally spaced, and the space, the distance between, or the height difference, I should say, or vertical distance between the contour lines is called the vertical interval. The vertical interval is the amount that you're going up by. So in this case, we are going up by 100. So it starts at 100, then 200, then 300. So the lines are increasing in value towards by 100 meters. So two places may be located generally at the same horizontal. Two features might be generally located at a similar horizontal distance, but at different vertical distance. So we want to use the vertical distance to also give location. All right. The contour lines are also very useful in helping us to describe slopes. So notice over here, we see the land rising in this direction, it's rising in this direction, and it's rising in this direction. This is known as a spur. All right. So the spur, look at it. It is, the land is decreasing there. The land is decreasing there. The land is decreasing there. And it is increasing in that direction. Now we can identify this feature by the use of contour lines because we can look at the shape of the contour lines. The contour lines have a U or sometimes a V shape, which point towards lower ground. And then we have a little valley right here that the river is flowing through. On the contour line, on the contour map, We have the contour lines pointing in a V shape towards higher contour values. Over here, we have a feature that is different. Notice if we look on this, we notice that it is a hole or a depression in the ground. We can depict a depression on a map where the contour lines, the values are decreasing towards the center. Also, we will have some little tick marks pointing inwards to show that the land is decreasing towards the center. All right, our maps do not only show physical features, but it also shows human features. All right, and again, it is in symbolic language. So, for example, a school is depicted by an abbreviation SCH and a little, sometimes it's a square, sometimes it's a little dot. So when we see the SCH beside the little dot, we know there's a school at this location. Over here, we know that there is a hotel at this location. Now, just in case we don't know all of the symbols, another important element on a map is the key. What the key does, and the key is also called the legend, what the key does is that it explains, it gives the meanings of the symbols that are being shown on the map. All right. Other elements of a good map would be a title. The title will vary from one type of map to another type of map. For a topographic map, the title is usually the title of the place. For thematic maps, it is usually depicting the type of theme being shown. All right, whether it's rainfall map, whether it's an economic map, uh, whether it's a physical map, etc. All right, so the final element, it might not seem so significant, but it is still important of a good map is the border, and the border is for neatness, and it helps to hold the different features, the different elements of the map together. All right, so in this case, uh, here we have our border. I wrote the title of the map outside of the border, but in most cases, we will see the border, the title within the border itself. All right. So in some upcoming videos, I will teach you a little bit more about maps so that you will better be able to read maps, and you will definitely earn the title of geographer. All right, thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.